Remember, O Prophet, when your Lord said to the angels, I'm going to create a human being from sounding clay molded from mud. So when I have fashioned it and had a spirit of my own creation breathed into it, fall down in prostration to it. Humankind cannot exist without the body and the soul. In order to truly understand the intricacies of the human condition, one must acknowledge this connection, the interplay between the external, the internal, the physical, and the psychological. Consider, for example, the heart. We have the physical organ that pumps blood, oxygen, and nutrients throughout the body, a function that is required to sustain our lives. But also, we have a conscious spiritual heart, the heart that guides our faith, that shapes our interactions, and the heart that is the center of our personality. In fact, Imam Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, the 12th century Muslim polymath, recognized that the second meaning of the heart is a divine, spiritual entity that is connected to the physical heart. This entity, he wrote, is the truth of the human being, the one who perceives, knows the world, and the one who is addressed, punished, reproached, and held accountable, as he mentions in his book, The Marvels of the Heart, Book 21 of Ihya Ulumuddin. This understanding ties back to the importance of looking at wellness of both the body and the soul, an interdisciplinary study famously championed by Abu Zayd al-Balkhi. Al-Balkhi was a renowned 9th century Muslim polymath famous for his contributions to the fields of geography, mathematics, poetry, literature, philosophy. But today he's also credited as one of the world's earliest cognitive psychologists, pioneering psychosomatic medicine and cognitive therapy in the 9th century. My own research found that al-Balkhi is likely one of the first in history to understand, classify, and diagnose obsessive-compulsive disorders and phobias, a millennium before Western psychologists who are credited instead with these discoveries. Al-Balkhi criticized the narrow frame of 9th century physicians of his time in his book Masalih al-Abdan al-Anfus, Sustenance of the Body and Soul, and he went to great depths to explain physical and mental illnesses. Centuries ahead of his time, his perspective did not distinguish between physical and mental health conditions, recognizing the need for balance and well-being in both. In the second part of his translated manuscript, Sustenance of the Soul, al-Balkhi demonstrates his holistic approach to the human condition, emphasizing that the human's constitution is the body and the soul. He asserts that an individual's overall state is intricately tied to the healthy condition of both components. Why exactly is this important for us to know? This means that he understood that both the body and the soul experience health or sickness, balance or imbalance. Further, he highlights that the state of the body and the soul are interdependent. If one aspect is suffering, then the other surely will be afflicted as well. Like many Islamic scholars, al-Balkhi's interest in understanding of the human psyche can be traced back to the traditions of the Quran and Ahadith. These teachings emphasize the preservation of the intellect. They caution against the hardening of the heart and underscore the importance of seeking cures. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "There is no disease that Allah Azza wa Jal has created except that He's also created its treatment or cure." In his classification of disorders and psychological conditions such as fear, sadness, anxiety, and obsession, al-Balkhi not only touched on modern concepts of cognitive therapy, but also offered invaluable advice on preventative measures and treatments to return the body and the soul to their natural, healthy state. Al-Balkhi provides an extensive analysis of emotional disorders, recognize that people differ in their abilities to manage these conditions, and offer tailored prescriptions to address and manage psychological ailments. Now you may be wondering, how exactly is this useful to us 11 centuries later? Right now, many of us have had the privilege to go about our day-to-day lives in good physical health and general guarantee of the safety of our bodies. Yet day after day, body after body, and soul after soul, we've witnessed the immeasurable and unprecedented loss through the screens that connect us to the world. As we confront the heart-wrenching realities of today, war, fear, hunger gripping communities globally, sudden natural disasters upending lives, and the unfolding genocide before our eyes, our souls bear witness to these profound adversities. Our souls mourn the loss of human life, feel anger towards those whose hands are stained by injustice, and grapple with faith as we seek solace through Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Sufficient for us is Allah, and He is the best disposer of our affairs. This internal turmoil leaves us paralyzed in our day-to-day lives, feeling helpless that we can't do more. Each morning we wake up to check our feeds. We live in perpetual fear and anxiety about what horrors may possibly unfold next. While our hearts may not bear physical harm directly, they carry the heavy burden of witnessing these profoundly adverse events. It is crucial to recognize and address the internal turmoil that permeates our hearts, and the psychological toll that we experience, and the physical strain on our body through loss of appetite, sleepless nights, chronic stress, and the soul battling with internal struggles. Many of us are blessed having access to physicians and prescriptions for bodily ailments, but we often find ourselves less equipped to address the ailments that afflict our souls. Al-Balkhi also recognized that we must obtain knowledge with respect to the management of the body's sustenance by maintaining its well-being and returning it to health. And if that is lost, recovery is not an easy matter. The sacred month of Ramadan serves as a reminder to turn inwards and reflect on our spiritual and emotional well-being. It is an opportunity for self-reflection, personal growth, and to purify not only our bodies, but also our souls. So as we turn our gaze inward and seek to heal our unseen wounds, I ask you to reflect. What do you do when your soul becomes worn down?